It is conference season, and our colleague Nimesh is at the UBS conference, right? And he's got Mickey Doshi, country head at UBS, from the sidelines of that conference right now. So let me throw it across to Nimesh. Nimesh, morning.
Morning, Prashant. Yes, it's a conference season, and I'm actually at the UBS conference. It's day 2 for UBS, and joining me now is Mickey Doshi. He's the country head for UBS in India. Mickey, thank you for joining us. I normally catch you only in Singapore. This time I'm lucky to have you in India. Straight to the markets, India has been a rank underperformer for the last 12 to 15 months, and all of the Asian markets have done really well. What's the mood from the FIs at the conference, and when you think this tide can turn as far as India is concerned?
Nimesh, thanks for having me on this show. You're right, I don't tend to come on TV very often. Last you saw me was at our Asia conference. But this is a big event for us at UBS. This is our second year of the conference after we integrated with Credit Suisse. The turnout's been superb. Like you rightly said, the FI turnout and even domestics have been around. I think the mood is clearly one of wanting to see the opportunity and see what the investment outlook looks going forward. Yes, you're right. It has been a rank underperformer. China and Korea, as you know, have been clearly beneficiaries of less flows into India or outflows out of India into those markets. Multiple reasons. I think some of the flows have gone into the IPOs. We've had a robust IPO calendar this year, continue to have one next year. So that's part of the reason why. Secondly, I think Liberation Day obviously wasn't very favorable for us, which I think, again, we're hoping that changes going into 2026 and is positive for us. So yeah, the mood is upbeat. We actually had the ex-deputy governor of the RBI yesterday. Yeah. Again, very supportive. He thinks RBI is going to be out there and supporting the growth in this country. So I think, yeah, it's...
Sure. I'll ask you about banking and RBI, stance as well. But you spoke about, Liberation Day, and since then we've actually underperformed.
Yes.
You're having Piyush Goyal at your conference today, though it's virtual. But as a house, what are you expecting in terms of the India-US deal? By when you think it will see the light?
When it will see the light, I don't know. The hope
but
is...
You're hopeful?
Very. Oh, extreme. I think it's in the interest of both countries, actually. Sure. We're no longer a country which anybody can neglect, right? I mean, and if you've seen what our Commerce Minister has done in the last, I guess, 18 months, from Switzerland, Luxembourg, to Norway, to UK, to New Zealand, one by one, we're getting our agreements in place with various countries, right? And I think the US is going to be right up there. So am I hopeful? The answer is 100% I'm hopeful.
So what's the base case at UBS? That the 25% extra will go and the base 25 will remain, or even that will be reduced further to sub 20?
We have not actually done, I personally have not taken a view on that. I think at least as first case, the base case should at least be that the top 25% should go. Okay.
Coming to banking, Mickey, you spoke about a deputy governor at your conference. The biggest FDI in the last 1 year has come into the financial space. Never ever we thought of in the last 15, 20 years that Etihad Bank will get an access of 60% stake in RBL Bank. It's unheard of, right? What's your sense? You've been a banker for so many years. Right time to open up the banking sector, and you think more deals will come?
So first thing is, I think clearly the financial sector is a proxy to our large population, right? 1.4 billion people, 1.5 billion people. The consumer play in India, if you play it via financials, there's a great way to play it. Yeah. India has had some world-class banks. Yes, you're right. Historically, the RBI was quite stringent on allowing foreigners to come in. If they came in, licenses were given, with a certain business plan. Growth was controlled by them. And I think there was no harm in the way we approached it. I think we've had some, ICICIs of the world, HDFCs, Kotaks, would not have happened that easily. Sure. If you just allow them to come in the manner they may have wanted to. I think going forward, yes, it's a mature market. I think there's need for a synergy between what the global banks can bring to India in terms of products, in terms of reach, etc. So yeah, I think the time is right, and I can see more of this happening. Okay. I think the dialogue which we actually as a house have with a number of jurisdictions where people are keen. Okay. If you ask the Japanese, they're keen to expand here. They ask the Koreans, they're looking for opportunities. So yes, there is keenness.
Okay. You briefly spoke about IPO as well as one of the reasons why some bit of FI money has moved from secondary market to the primary market. You've seen so many IPO cycles in the last 20, 25, 30 years. What do you make of the quality of paper that's hitting the market? While there is an argument of valuations very steep for some of those recent listings like Linkard, but what's generally your sense of the IPO paper in India?
So you're absolutely right. There have been multiple cycles and cycles which have not worked out for many corporates or for investors, right? And go back to the Y2K 2000 boom era, where there were a lot of small companies coming to the market. The one thing if you notice now, the size of the IPOs, right, are clearly differentiated from the past.
Yes.
And I've always maintained that it's easier to get a large IPO done than a small IPO done, right? The size of assets which the domestic mutual funds and of course we've always had the global investors coming in, it's huge. So to make a difference in the portfolio, these large IPOs. So I think what we've seen is most of the IPOs clearly at the right valuation have done well, and I continue seeing that. I think we've seen the other advantages. It's no longer just a single economy, or it's across sectors. You're seeing the IPOs coming out. I mean, I was just looking at this morning's papers, from defense to education to consumer. You can buy glasses, etc. So I think it's a very varied sector. India is no longer just a 2-3 sector market.
Sure.
And I think it's going to continue. I think you see that in our pipeline too.
Sure. I want to ask more about the UBS, strategy in India and I'm asking you because recently we saw the deal of UBS buying 5% in 360 ONE, and you want to eventually build this wealth business.
Yes.
As a theme, how much bullish you are across the capital market theme, whether it's wealth management or exchanges or brokerages?
Like I said earlier, right? Financial services is clearly perfect for playing the consumer market, right? I think and could be across the whole chain of retail to ultra high net worth, in terms of wealth management, in terms of investment banking, in terms of broking, pure corporate banking, right? We've seen how banks have grown on that side. Extremely bullish. I think yes. The reason we did this deal, or the hallmark of this deal, is you're combining the largest wealth manager in the world, the premier wealth manager in the world, with the largest standalone domestic wealth manager, asset manager in India, right? I think it's a win-win for both, providing access to our global clients to come into India with 360 ONE, and as you're seeing the markets open up for domestics to go overseas and various.
So the plan is to stick with 5% in 360 ONE, or you want to increase further going forward?
I think it's early days.
Okay.
We've just got the marriage was consummated in April. Other agreements have just been signed. I think we'd like to see how it plays out, but clearly, I think it's in the interest of both that it grows. I think even when we did the announcement in April, we did say that this is the start of the relationship. So I'm hoping.
Okay, well, that's Mickey Doshi at UBS, and talking about the markets, foreign participation, size of IPOs, and of course a bit about sectors as well. Interesting conversation, and we'll put out the whole thing, play out snippets through the course of the day, and of course you can find the full thing online on CNBC TV 18's YouTube page.